This session is about the ordering option that SBC calls pipeline ordering. This process is available in B2, the program that generates a suggested order from the inventory file. When activated, pipeline ordering calculates order quantities for a warehouse or hub location that will include enough stock to fill satellite stores' needs in addition to the hub location's own needs. As the program is calculating the warehouse order based on its own sales parameters and/or mins and maxes, it is also looking at what the satellite stores would need if a stock order was generated for each one at that moment in time. Pipeline ordering creates a consolidated order for multiple locations, but it assumes that one location is serving as a warehouse or hub for the other locations. The goal is to order enough to fill the needs of the hub and to be able to fill a stock order for every location in the pipeline. This feature is activated by use of the internal pipeline table. If the IP file is designated as an active file on the system, then the field to turn the feature on becomes available in B2 on the ordering options screen. So we're going to go there right now and take a look at where that field is. I'm going to bypass all the libraries. This is the ordering options screen, and here is the field to turn on pipeline ordering. And that field is accessible, which means that the IP file is open on this system. Otherwise, that field would be grayed out. SBC customer support can assist with the activation of the IP file. If this field is set to yes, then the logic will access the internal pipeline table to know which lines for which satellite store locations are to be part of the pipeline ordering calculation. The internal pipeline table can be accessed via menu selection BC. So we're going to go there right now. You can make this setup as simple or as complicated as is necessary based on your own ordering needs. Enter the store ID of the warehouse or hub store in the field for direct store number. If the warehouse or hub supplies the stores with every product in every line that is carried, then simply enter asterisks in all three fields. This is clearly the simplest setup. It requires only this one record in the IP file. However, if the hub only supplies the stores with certain lines, then you will need to create a separate entry in this table for each line. In that case, in the field captioned vendor, enter the manufacturer code of a product line for which you want to use this feature. The next field, the SUB field, can only be used if a field called SUB for subline code exists in the inventory record. If the inventory does not have this field, then enter 2 asterisks. The last field in the top box is for product category, CAT. If the hub supplies the stores with the entire line, enter 3 asterisks in this field. If the hub only supplies the stores with a specific category of product within a given line, then enter that category on this screen in the box under the appropriate vendor code. If the hub supplies the stores with a certain category of product across all lines, enter that category code on the record set up with the 3 asterisks in the vendor field. The fields in this box at the top of the screen set up the parameters of which parts are to be considered for pipeline ordering. The other piece of the puzzle is to configure who the satellite stores are. In the pipeline store grid on each record, enter the store ID or IDs of each location to be considered. This setup provides the opportunity for the flexibility that I mentioned earlier. If the lines and categories are the same for all the satellite stores in the pipeline, then set up the same store IDs on each pipeline table record. But if different lines are stocked at different satellite stores, then you can set up the appropriate store ID or IDs on each record. When setting up B2, it is only the warehouse location that is entered on the ordering options screen. Based on the IP table configuration and the line codes selected in B2, and here's where we can specify the lines that we are ordering, the pipeline stores will be determined by the program. The order quantity for the primary ordering location is determined based on the selected ordering method and the parameters that have been set up on the calculation screen. In other words, the user controls how that order quantity calculation is done. The method for calculating the order quantity for the pipeline stores is not user definable. It is hard-coded to always use the single order point method. That rule is, if the quantity falls below the order point, then order up to that order point. In addition, the fields used in the calculation are hard-coded. The logic looks at 4 fields: the designated quantity on hand, the designated quantity on order, the designated reorder level, and the designated reorder flag. The single order point method is applied, and the logic will look at package flag and package quantity fields if they have been set up. The amount needed by the pipeline stores will be added to the order quantity for the primary or warehouse location. And in fact, even if the warehouse location doesn't need a particular item, if any of the pipeline stores do, that item will appear on the order. The quantity on order field for the warehouse, that is the primary ordering location, will be updated with the total quantity ordered for the warehouse plus whatever's needed for all of the pipeline stores when the OpenPO is created. When the product is received at the warehouse and processed into the system using B8, the primary location's quantity on hand will be updated. Then, a separate process can be used to generate stock order transfers from the warehouse to each pipeline store based on their current need. The warehouse should now have sufficient quantity to fill those orders and still meet the needs of their other customers. Depending on the time gap between the creation of the vendor order and the creating of the stock transfers, the store needs could have changed a little. But overall, this process works well, providing the warehouse or hub with sufficient stock. For any additional questions, please contact SBC support and have a great day.